Hi. Um, we are in week 2 of 202, writing 202. And I have really enjoyed reading the discussion forum posts. I've graded them so you can look at the points. And I made some notes this morning as I was looking through them so that we could connect and kind of see how you can use what I've seen from your discussion forum and your rough drafts and how you can implement um, these insights with your final writing assignment number 1. Okay, so first, getting started, I noticed that a few of you are saying like, oh, I just feel really overwhelmed. I don't know how or where to start. And maybe it's too much information. I have too much passion about the subject. So my suggestion to you is to give yourself some slack. For most people, you've taken a break, and for most students, you've taken a break. You're coming back. Give yourself some wiggle room. Give yourself some extra time each day to write. Even if it's like for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just work on writing. And if you don't get anywhere, that's okay. It's this idea of giving yourself permission to write badly. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. A lot of times we talk about pre-writing strategies. You read in textbooks, pre-writing strategies, and it's a way for you to get your junk out, get all the stuff out that you maybe have going, circling in your mind about anything that's going on in your day. You're balancing work, families, friends, and now school. So there's probably a lot going on. So getting yourself to focus on what your topic is, you have to give yourself some time to kind of warm up. So allow yourself to free write and just whatever comes out, even if it's not related to the topic, or you think it sounds terrible, or you're worried about your sentence structure, grammar, word choice, no one's going to see it. So give yourself room to write badly and see what comes out. You might realize that you just needed a little push to get some of that stuff out, to get to the good stuff. And sometimes you don't realize that some good stuff is in there and you might want to explore it more. And you wouldn't have seen that if you didn't give yourself permission to write badly. So that is a good way to get started, is just sit down and write. Because you might find out that you have zero passion for the topic that you are wanting to write about. If you're wanting to write about exercise, and maybe you want to talk about hot yoga, and you realize you just really enjoy it, but you have more passion for eating whole foods and how the whole food 30 or whatever movement that you have decided to participate in has more passion behind it than hot yoga. Even though you enjoy hot yoga, it's not saying you don't enjoy hot yoga. It just means that there's more passion in this area today. And so go with it and see where it takes you. Thesis. Okay, so here's the big one. Thesis statements. Thesis statements can be 1 to 3 sentences long. And it should include a why component. Saying exercise is important is just a statement, because all of us could say that. Why you think is important is what sets your opinion apart from every person in your class. And that is a thesis statement, because not only do you believe that, you have to defend it. So if I say exercise is important because it reduces my daily stress level, that's personal. And I am a professional in that opinion, and I will find other studies that will back my opinion based on my personal experience and what I know to be true. So I'm not saying that you have to agree with it, and I'm not saying that you have to change what you're doing. I'm just asking you to see my side and how I find it to be true, and evaluate whether or not you think it's credible based on what other research I bring to the table. So a thesis is important because it has a why statement, and that's true to you. And I know a lot of times students feel like they don't have permission to be so bold as to make a claim like that. You do. You totally do, because you have so much life experience to bring, especially as an adult learner. You have work experience, you have personal experience. I mean, you have experience to bring, and it's true based on how you've lived your life and what has been good or bad or true for you. And that's okay. No one's saying you are the absolute truth. You're just saying from your perspective, this is how you see it. And that's okay. Okay, so also, let's see wait, hold on one second. Oh yeah, that was just an example. Okay, audience analysis. So this is another part that helps you kind of narrow your window, because I have seen in the discussion forum posts and the rough drafts that your audience analysis is too big. It's including more than one person. So if you're saying, I want to reach my all evangelical churches, well, and the congregation. Well, okay, your message is going to shift based on, are you talking about your church, all evangelical churches, the congregation, men, women? Each message would be altered based on, like, how are you going to reach that specific group? What examples are you going to give that are relatable to them? What back history or knowledge do they have that can bring your story alive? So that's too many people. Even saying my church and possibly the leadership, like the congregation and the leadership, that's too big, because your examples and your evidence that you bring to that will shift. Pick one. It's not saying both aren't important, and this is a hard one for students to let go. It's not saying both aren't important. It's saying today I am writing to my congregation. Today I'm writing to my church leadership. And this is what I believe to be true and why. This is what I need you to hear, and this is why I think you need to hear it. And this is what I hope you will consider the next time X, Y, and Z happen. Super specific, because if you're just focusing on one group, your evidence, your topic sentences go from like this big to very specific. It's almost like it lays it out for you. You have this thesis statement, you have your reasoning, you have your specific one person, one specific group, and you don't have a lot of choices anymore. All of your choices have been eliminated, and it's more clear to see what works and what doesn't. It's not saying the other stuff isn't true. You're just creating some clarity in your message to focus on one particular group and how they interpret the information and what would best suit their needs to understand the way you see the world. That's the whole goal of 202. Okay, so we talked about audience analysis. Topic sentences, we talked about that on how it'll shape them. Now, your topic sentence should give away your main idea. It's not a secret. It's not trying to like read through it and then at the very last sentence of your paragraph, show your hand. No, you want to be very straightforward, very transparent. Your goal for that paragraph is X. Your goal for the paragraph should be the very first sentence, because that lets the reader know what's to come. And it keeps things from getting muddled, and it's very clear, very direct, and it keeps you concise. Topic sentences should give away your main idea for that paragraph. Okay, so that's my writing information for tonight, for this week. That's plenty. If you have questions, please email me. I'm here all week. We can do a Zoom session. We can do a quick, 5-10 minute phone chat. If you really need to meet in person, we can do that at the Portland Center when you have a class that night. I recommend making appointments with the Writing Center. They offer 1-hour sessions. You can do face-to-face. You can do Zoom. They're trying to get away from email because it is less personal. But this video session, it's really simple. You just click a link and they kind of go along with you. Plus, if they have questions, you're right there to answer them and give them a little bit more information about your assignment and what your goal is. I recommend it. I also recommend planning ahead these assignments. You have the due dates on the syllabus, plan ahead, mark out some time with the Writing Center. It kind of gives you some goals to have in place on when you need your rough drafts done by so that the Writing Center can look at it and your spot's not given away to someone else. Keep that in mind. Okay, so discussion forums. Looking at week 1, great work. I think the only thing that I would want that I made more clear in week 2 is that it can't just be awesome, good job, I love what you have to say. There were a lot of people who went beyond that and elaborated what they liked and then added their own information. So I really like what you have to say about, domestic violence. That's a heavy topic. And I've had family or friends that have gone through it or myself that have gone through it, and it's really tough. And I just applaud you for working through that and using support and finding people that can really come alongside you and love you through that process is really key to healing or feeling whatever it is that you're working towards, your goal. That's telling the person, thanks for being, honest, forthcoming, and not only, being transparent, but I also have connection to that and or know someone that has connection to it, and you're adding more information to it. So all of a sudden your little 2-sentence response that gets 0 points is a full paragraph that's giving you the 5 points that you need for your response post, which I want 2 of those. And I gave more parameters on that for week 2. So just check in, make sure you're meeting those. And if you have any questions, email me. Sometimes I do miss that. Foxtail can be a little quirky at times. And, I click all the posts and I think I've graded them all and it skips one or whatever. So if you have any questions and want to check in on why did I get 30 out of 35? I just want to make sure, am I meeting the requirements? And then I can tell you, yes, I missed something, I'm sorry. Or, this is why you didn't get your other 5 points. And then we can build on it from there. Okay, discussion forums, APA format. So far things are looking great. Keep those templates on in Word document. They have that. It's really nice. I think they even have a citation, like an in-text citation and a references portion in Word document, which is really helpful as you are navigating this APA format. Using the video that Maddie Lowen created side by side with your essay is really helpful to make sure you don't miss the running head, or is it capitalized, running, capital R, lowercase h, my title abbreviated, all in caps. There's so many little pieces, it's really easy to miss something. So having that as a tool, a resource is great. Just if you're worried about using in-text citations, just do it. I'm not going to dock you if you tried it and you missed something, because you're trying, and figuring it out is kind of the important part of 202, and getting comfortable with what signal phrase works for you, how to shift so that it doesn't seem so mechanic and technical after a while. At first it is going to feel really mechanical and technical, and that's okay. Just making sure you know how to use it, and then eventually you'll be able to figure out how to finesse it so it kind of flows in and out of your paper. But making sure you're giving accurate credit for authors that you're using to support your claim is really important. And again, if you have questions, you want to double check your work, I'm here. Check in with me. We'll make sure we get everything situated. Okay, so those are my notes for week 2, and keep working on your paper. I've posted writing assignment number 2 so that you can take a look at that and start working on it. But writing assignment number 1 is due this week, Sunday at midnight, along with your reading and discussion forum. So if you have questions, check Foxtail, and if you still have questions, check in with me. I'm here all week. And good work, first week. let's keep going, and I will see you soon.